Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It is definitely getting a lot warmer outside. If you hadn't noticed, I sweat a lot, so I've been running in a tank top and I pass people in mitts and hats and coats still in the morning. And I don't know if I just operate at a different internal temperature, but just a reminder of the lurking risks of spring. So all of us, not all of us, but many people tend, oh, it's so nice out, so I'm going to get outside. I'm going to start running again. I'm going to do more walking. You know, they're going to do more physical activity outdoors than they have done in many months when it was cold and wet and snowy. And suddenly they're ramping up their activity again, which is great, but it needs to be gradual or you face the risk of injury. And this goes for our dogs as well. When we suddenly feel like, oh, I'm going to go for a longer walk because it is so beautiful outside. I want to check out what's growing here, there, and everywhere. But you've just got to make sure that your dog is ready to take on that extra load, especially if they've got any arthritis. And even if it's well controlled, can still flare up. If they've got any lingering injuries that haven't quite healed fully, or know that they can develop a new injury, especially if you start doing anything that is, past the line of what their tissues can handle. And if you didn't see my story yesterday on Instagram, this happened to us on the weekend with Maggie. We went for a walk as a family and we brought a football so my husband and my son could pass the ball around. We had Maggie off the leash, and what did she do? Because she's a retriever, she went to retrieve. So we cut her off pretty quickly, but she definitely overdid it that day. And the next day I could tell she was sore. She stretches a fair amount, and I could tell she just wasn't getting into that downward dog position quite as easily as she normally would. She had a bit of lameness on her front leg. Thankfully, she recovered quickly, a little bit of laser, a little bit of range of motion, some easy walks, but it can happen to any of us, and you've got to be ready to handle the consequences if you do overdo it. And luckily, Maggie was no worse for wear a few days later, but just check in with yourself. Are you pushing your dog further than you should? Hope that helps, and enjoy this beautiful weather before it gets too hot, because I don't know about you, but I hate that weather. Have a good one.